And hi, who are you?
Hello. Well, hello everyone. I'm Sha. Well, I'm very happy to be here with you guys, with Enrique and Rumi. Thank you for inviting me to this space. And well, I hope we can have a nice live to talk about many things about Tantra and interact and share as well. This would be very nice, not just for me to be here talking. And yeah, whenever you want, we can go for it.
So they don't know what Tantra is. So what's Tantra?
That's the $1,000,000 question.
What a question to start.
It's a good question. It's a good question. Okay, there is a lot of misunderstanding related to Tantra, actually. And it's good to have the chance to be here and get more people to know what really Tantra is. And the way I define it, to make it simple, because there are many different definitions, approaches, and Tantra is actually a vast thing. But Tantra is a spiritual path. And the main thing for me, the way I define it, is a way to connect with your true essence and live from love. And live in that state in all the areas of your life. How do we achieve that? The first thing that we try to do when we are, let's say, practicing Tantra and its dynamics is to shut up the mind. We have, there are different type of minds, but this mind that is linked to the ego and to these labels, these beliefs that you have, this is what Tantra helps you to destroy. And this is what helps you to connect with your truth essence and to live in that state of pure love constantly. Tantra is actually originally, because there is like classic Tantra, in the first place, Tantra was the different practices, system of practices that were created by different lineage, from different schools, different approaches. And what we practice more today is Neo-Tantra, where we were with the sexual energy. That's why it's really connected with the, many people think Tantra is sex, and it's much more than that. The text that we have in our hands, that is the oldest one, is the Vijnana Vairava Tantra. And there are like 112 different techniques and methods in this book. And from all these, yes, around 6 or 7 are directly connected to the sexual act. And what it really does, during this is a meditation. It's a meditative practice. And not what many people think, that is about having an orgasm to prolong the time you are having sex with someone and all these things. I'm for everything. I respect all the approaches and everything, because I think I don't believe in, as I was saying to you before, Rumi, I believe in anything and in everything, right? But we don't need to have labels, right? I don't believe that you need to have a book and follow that. I think you have to listen to yourself and do what you feel. And if there are some approaches that you connect more with, that's completely fine. And you can take things from Neo Tantra, from classic Tantra, from different schools, which is actually what I do. And this is Tantra for me, actually, because this is when you are honest to your real essence, when you do what you really want.
In my opinion, it's beautiful what she's telling, and for me, it's really something that makes me glad that you are here with us. And they are asking you again your name. They don't understand.
My name is Sharuna, is the complete name, but people call me Sha. It's SHA. It's like Shakira, but just the first Sha.
No, and I'm very glad because, I've known her some months ago here in Tenerife. She's a Tantra teacher. I was in a Tantra retreat and it was really wonderful. And I was together with her, and as you can see, I think that it's super visible. She's full of light when she speaks about this. And the same like that Henry have when he speaks about cinema or when I speak about writing. And I think that the point is to find out the way to spread your own light, that everyone has got his own. So for instance, there are really a lot of different way to go to the inner truth. But the point is that it's not that everyone is done for every way. We have to find out our personal way, no? And for me, it's beautiful being here with you both, because I feel like that I'm in a room of light, not just because there is the light there.
Yeah.
So I know that's a stupid question, but just to make it clear, I can do it. I can do it. Is Tantra a religion or a philosophy or what?
Some people say it's a religion. For me, I don't consider Tantra a religion. For me, it's a way of living. And there are many, as I said, because here we can open a big thing, because many people will say, no, it's a religion, it's a philosophy, it's this and that. For me, it's a way of living. And I just live it like that, you know? And I try not to label Tantra either. For me, Tantra is to be. This is the way I feel it.
That's a beautiful way of saying it. So, how did you discover Tantra? I can't speak today. I can't.
Because you have to know that we were having lunch together, and we were speaking a bit English, a bit Spanish, a bit Italian.
Yes.
And when she's very happy, she speaks faster. And once Henry was asking me what the fuck is telling her, and I was traducing it, and super happy to traduce because in English, and it's super better than.
I'm speaking very fast now.
No.
Okay.
It was just in Spanish that you started with.
Yeah.
In Spanish.
Pendejo.
Yeah, I got too excited probably, that's why.
So
how did I discover Tantra? Okay, so this is a big question, because it wasn't something that I discovered like this. It was very slowly until I found, let's say, a special connection with it. Because there are many things into the classic Tantra that are also, we have them now. I'm a yoga teacher and I'm practicing yoga now for 5 years. So I was doing many things from classic Tantra while I was doing yoga, because I was also working with the energy and blocking chakras, and that's why I was already doing a big energetic movement in my body and to other people for years. So when I was, because just to clarify a bit, apart from all the dynamics that we know nowadays, if you go to a Tantra workshop, you might do like dynamic meditations, move the Kundalini, activating your perineum, and many different things. But the classic Tantra has many different things, which is like yantras, visualizations, mantras. The mantras are super powerful. And we also use the mudras, which are positions with the hands. And a practice that it's also very helpful, that was one of the first I was doing, are micro practices, because sometimes we try to meditate for 30 minutes, 20 minutes. And at the beginning, it's super hard if you are not used to it. And these micro practices that we learn in classic Tantra are like just to do it for 15, 20, 30 seconds, but many times during the day. And this helps you a lot, because this gives you the chance to get into this full presence state. Because it's easier if you do it for 15, 20 seconds. Most of us can do it. You can actually try to be there, breathing just with yourself for 15 seconds. And this is what I was doing the most, all these type of practices, which is more what people know nowadays like white tantra is the work you do with yourself. It's more internal. And the tantra that I, let's say, offer right now as a teacher, as a facilitator, I connected more with that part 2 years ago. And last year I became a facilitator because I felt I was missing something. I mean, I was really working into myself. I felt I connected with my center. I was feeling fine, but I felt I still had something actually here, something that, like a blockage that didn't let me evolve or move forward. Yeah, I was feeling stuck somewhere and I didn't understand because I was feeling well. And when actually I went to this facilitator training, which was for me to become a Tantra facilitator, I had the most unexpected experience because while we were there doing an active meditation, I went to a state, I don't know how to call it, to be honest. Still now, when I think about this moment, I don't know. It could be ecstasy. I know because it looked like ecstasy, right? When you leave your mind and you feel really connected, but it wasn't for 1 minute. It wasn't for 2 days. It was for 2 weeks. Wow. I was in a state of, ecstasy is the word.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I have lived a similar experience when I was in the primal that I was speaking about with you before. The primal is a very important Osho retreat in which you deal with your childhood. And during that retreat, I received the name Rumi. And I remember that, in the retreat, it's very particular, everything. But I remember that after that, I was going to another Osho center for some days. And then I went to Liguria, that it's in Italy, to a lot of different cities because I have a lot of different friends in Liguria. And I remember I was walking in the seaside alone. And I remember that for me, that was like flying. I remember that it was like, wow, it was unbelievable because I remember a lot of expansion inside myself with this energy that make me flow and fly, Yeah. And it's really a miracle when it is going to happen. But I wanted to focus on this. It's very beautiful that you told that there is a point in your body that didn't allow you to flow and to evolve. And it's very useful for the art research. Because why? Because I'm very happy to be here in the middle because I've done a lot of time tantra and I'm super happy to be here with you, and I love your way to be and to teach. And Henry never have done a tantric experience, and I'm super happy that I am here in the between now, because it's like that. In my life, I put in common the grow with art and the grow with spirituality and with meditation. And the point is that when she told us that in a particular point, it makes me remember that in every course that in which we teach, we always say that it's super important to use the body in writing and in cinema too. Why? Because if we speak about our body, it means that our conscience is here, is not outside of us. And for instance, if I want to write about, sometimes we speak about show don't tell. A lot of time, when was that we have done the show don't tell course?
More than a year ago.
Yes, more than a year ago. Yeah, because we are here since 8 months more or less. More than 1 year ago, we have done a show don't tell course. It was just a class. And in the show don't tell, it's super important use the body. For instance, it's very important in the arts not to say Iknusa is super happy, but to show how happiness is in her body. And in this is very beautiful, no? Because what Shah told us was in this point, in this body. And I think that is something that is very useful for communication. Mm-hmm. And it's beautiful too, because maybe Shah doesn't know exactly what we do with what does it mean that art can be a therapy. But the point is that it's a therapy because art is always a expression.
Yeah.
And for instance, Henry that is super focused on illustration, animation, he can observe people and the body of all that people, and so he can evolve himself knowing this.
Mhm.
And so it's beautiful, no? This bridge between you and I am the bridge. You like that I am the bridge?
Well, whoa, we a lot of things happened in this dialogue. So I think that I should ask you at this point about your life.
Yeah.
What happened in your life?
So,
who are you?
who are you?
Where do you
Who
come from?
What are you doing here? Well,
In Italian, please. Chi sei?
oh no, in italiano è troppo difficile per me.
Scherzo.
Well, actually, this is another thing that I always say. For me, I have the feeling that I have had two different lives in this life. I wasn't born doing tantra or yoga or anything like that. Actually, I was the opposite. The first time I tried yoga, I thought this is so boring. I don't want to do this ever again. What is this? And I used to do boxing and this.
Boxing?
Yes, I love boxing. I still love it.
Wow.
And I used to do many sports, but I was so disconnected from myself. And I realize now. So basically, this was in my previous life, right? This story. I'm from here, I'm from Tenerife. And I have been living in many places where you know that I have been in Bergamo. I was living in Bergamo for a year during college. And I love Italy, I have to say. I love your food, guys, especially your food. It's amazing. Well, Italy is beautiful,
Quale
of
cibo ti
course.
piace?
Eh?
Quale cibo ti piace?
Oh, tutti.
Tutti.
La pizza, la pasta, gnocchi, polenta, todo.
Bueno.
Being Italian, the important part, not what you're eating.
So
And
one is
also-
asking why everyone loves Italian food.
It's amazing. For me, I have to eat a pizza at least twice a week. Or yeah, if not, I feel it.
Ah, wow.
So yeah, I don't know why I'm talking about pizza. I was talking about my life.
Speaking about your
I
life,
missed the
we are
whole
speaking
story
about food.
There's a place in Los Cristianos when they do a lot of beautiful pizzas, like Napolitan pizzas.
Where?
I have met her one.
What's the name?
Oh, the Fuori Rotta.
Yes. When,
Fuori
we
Rotta,
meet
yeah.
there.
Okay, okay.
Buonissimo. I love this place.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's very good. So yeah, I was because I was saying I was in Italy and living in many places. One of the places I went to live, I studied business and management. Yeah, this type of things that you are just following the path of everyone. Okay, I finished high school. What should I do now? I don't know who I am. I don't
High
know what I
school,
want
here?
to do. High school here
In Santa Cruz.
in the south here,
In the south,
in Avete. And I thought, well, business is worth it for everything, whatever I do in the future. So, and I like numbers. I was good at math, so I studied that. And then I went to Dublin, and I started working there. I went for a year, but I stayed for 5, under the rain, the wind. I still love Dublin, even though the weather was awful. But I made many friends, and my life experience there was very good. It was a big growth for me. So I was managing a company after a few years in Dublin, and I thought I was a super successful person. Because I had a partner for 10 years, I had a good job, I was the director, I had an amazing salary, I was living abroad, traveling, blah, blah, blah. But deep inside, I was feeling so empty and so unhappy that what I was doing was to work the whole day, non-stop, just not to stop and realize that I was actually not happy. And this is when I tried yoga, and I thought, no, it's not for me. It was making me think, and connect. I was like, no. So I ran away. And suddenly, I had a personal thing with one of my friends got a serious disease, and since then something clicked in my mind. on my mind, and I was like, what am I doing? Really, I was thinking, I'm working the whole day, taking calls, talking to clients from 8 to 8. Did I come here for this? And I think I had a super existential crisis. I was feeling completely empty from like in one night. The next day, I was feeling completely empty. And I thought, okay, my relationship is fine because I got used to it. But is this what I want for the rest of my life? Do I want this job? Do I want this life? I see my family a few days a year. I have money for what? Nothing made sense, really. I don't know if any of you guys went through this. If you went, you might know that it's the most beautiful thing and the worst thing that can happen to you at the same time, because there is suffering, there is pain, right? Then you learn over the time that suffering is an option, but there is pain, there is still pain. It's hard to let go all your life, to change and to close cycles. So it was a hard way for me. And it wasn't for a day or a month, it was for 2 years, feeling completely empty, lost. This is when I was already practicing a little bit of yoga because I gave it another chance. But when I got deep down, I started practicing even more because I could feel that that time was at least helping me. And this is when I started breaking that fake person that I had created. I mean, my essence was still there. I was like, you know me. But I would hide my feelings. I couldn't manage my emotions. I would just live in the automatic pilot, doing everything without stopping for a second and thinking if this was really what I wanted and who I was. I didn't know myself well. So I started destroying everything.
Maybe I can say that because there is someone that is translating, and quindi grazie mille perché sta traducendo.
Grazie.
Stiamo facendo giusto così, tiriamo un po' le file.
Prego.
Perché? No, che sta raccontando un po' quello che ha avuto lei prima, no? Quindi la vita di prima che era una vita più normale, più incanalata su percorsi normali. Ed è molto bello, tu capisci quello che sto dicendo?
Sì, un po'.
È molto bello quello che sta dicendo perché lei ha detto, è come che io abbia avuto due vite nella stessa vita. E io volevo chiederti cosa è successo in mezzo. Perché nelle storie succede sempre che quando si hanno due vite, in mezzo c'è un evento.
Mm-hmm.
Un evento specifico che è specifico come mi fa male qua. Una cosa specifica. Infatti lei ha detto, a friend of mine have a serious disease. And I don't know which kind of disease, but I think that a cancer. And it's something that it's very important because I was thinking that it's something close to the death. Because there is a sentence that I do love that is everyone have got two lives. Tutti hanno due vite. La seconda comincia quando capiamo che ne abbiamo solo una. Capisci?
Che bonito, sì.
E quindi pensavo, deve esserci stato in mezzo un evento che ti ha messo vicino alla morte.
Sì.
E se poi noi guardiamo quello che Shah sta dicendo, è molto bello perché è anche molto relazionato con l'arco di trasformazione del personaggio, quindi con alcune cose che spieghiamo insieme, no? con Henry. Quando un personaggio cresce all'interno di una storia, deve lasciare andare tutte quelle vecchie credenze, tutti quei vecchi abiti, che noi chiamiamo fatal flow, che aveva.
Sì.
E quello che tu stai raccontando è proprio questo,
sì.
Ovvero io avevo queste credenze, ero una persona più inquadrata, che voleva stare per i soldi, che non avevo mai tempo per me. E la sua crescita doveva essere abbandonare tutto questo.
Sì, è troppo difficile. Because what you're talking about is the death. We have not just one, sometimes many small death processes in our lives when you make a change and everything. And we are so used to feeling attached to things and to people because we always talk about attachment in relationships, no? Or with people, but we are attached even to ourselves. So we don't want to leave that version of ourselves go. We are attached to that. No, this is me, and we feel this thing that if you let go, you are out of your comfort zone. You have to start from zero, and you have to be super brave there, no, and say, okay. But the good thing is that many times this happens, but when it happens in a hard way, like the process I'm talking about, you're not scared anymore, because after that I die constantly. I mean, I die constantly. It's like, okay, this is over, and I feel it. I'm in a period of time that I need to close. I need to leave this. I need to let go. I need to close this cycle, new one. And when you learn how to do this, it's awesome. It's awesome because you're not scared anymore. So the first time you face it can be very hard, but if you manage to go out from the shit, it's done. It's done. And you don't live with this fear of having your boyfriend, your girlfriend with you, having your house, having your life, no, nothing is here forever. No one. You come alone, you live alone. When you, because we always say, but when you really believe it, it changes everything. So you live with no fears, because what do you have to lose? You have yourself, and this is all the thing you can have. It's the only real thing you can have, yourself.
It's beautiful what you say. And here they are asking, how old are you? And someone is answering that is not a gentle ask to a woman. How old is that?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine with my age. I'm 65 long. This is what Tantra does.
I was telling the same. Fate Tantra che a 65 anni. Sì.
No, I'm 35, and I'm completely fine in sharing that. I'm super proud of getting older and getting wiser. So yeah, I'm completely fine with that.
Ringrazio Slash per l'abbonamento, davvero grazie. Ricorda che se scrivi abbonato in chat puoi avere accesso al gruppo degli abbonati. The sound you heard was that, so I was waiting because I need to do that.
Yes, it was like a
Yeah, I saw something
momento
there.
pubblicitario.
Yes, it's the fact don't mind about it.
Someone was telling, wow, beautiful, she loved math and Andre hate math. And
Oh yes, you do. I
I
love
did it
numbers
too.
in general, but yeah,
Me too.
I'm very bad at history, and yeah, I mean everyone is good at something. It's okay. Where are you good?
There are many things in which you can be good at, and you don't need to find the one while you're alive. And
Me and him, if we go, come si dice fare la spesa? If we go
To shopping. If you go shopping.
Shopping seems like to buy clothes.
Clothes.
because
Yeah.
in Italian shopping is this.
Okay.
It's not.
Okay. Like the supermarket.
Okay. When we go to supermarket, we are super slowly, and we can lost everything. We every time we don't know the money to pay. It's unbelievable. Our relation with numbers.
Well, I was asking. There are a lot of people out there that are not happy with their life. They hate it, or they don't even know they hate it, but they are just in their fatal flow.
Understand the fatal flow we were speaking about.
So, what do you think it's so important in something like Tantra to discover yourself? I already know the answer, but I think I need your answer.
Yeah, I understand. So it can be with Tantra, and it can be with anything that works for you, actually. Any spiritual path, anything that helps you. It could be even a hobby that you love, like art or dancing or whatever. There are many things you can connect with as a human being. So, as I always say, if you feel you are not happy, or you could be happier, or you feel you are missing something, or you have this feeling of emptiness that I had before, you are not alone. In the first place, many people go through this. This is what you should know. And the thing I would say to people is always to try different things. You can try Tantra, you can try yoga, and you can try whatever works for you that can help you. In Tantra, the approach that we give is basically to get this expansion and liberation once you get to know yourself. How can you be like super bright if you don't know what you need to show to the world, right? If you are still hiding yourself and you don't even know what's there, or you know it, but there were so many situations and things and people in your life telling you different things that are covering all that. It's like if you had the sun inside you and it's full of clouds. And with Tantra, what we do is to start removing these clouds, right? They evaporate. You don't even know why most of the time. This is the beautiful thing from Tantra, because there are many things that you cannot intellectualize with the mind, and you just feel it and you feel great and you feel connected. You can even connect with your gift, with your purpose in life, because you start working through different dynamics that are very powerful, also through the body. As Rumi was saying, we do tandavas, we dance, we release traumas with the body. And this is the beautiful thing, that sometimes we want to understand what we are doing. And it's funny because sometimes when we organize workshops or Tantra retreats, I see the people that are still a lot on the mind. But do you have a program? Where are we going to do? Each day, at each time, they need to have everything under control. We need to have everything under control, because this is what we have learned. We don't have any other way to do things. This is how we learn, right? And in Tantra, it's like, trust the process. Try, let go, leave it, and especially experience the process. Because if you are in your mind, you're not in the present. And Tantra happens in the present. It doesn't happen in the past or in the future. I mean, it's right now, because Tantra is about experiencing. And in order to experience, you need to be here. I mean, you cannot experience something now from the past. You have the memories, right? Or from the future, you have the imagination. But the possibility to experience through the body is now. And it's very important to stay present. So yeah, I would say that this is why it's so, for me, it's a good path. And the first thing, because you were saying that many people are not happy, and how could Tantra help them if they know themselves better, or how could they do it? What I love the most from Tantra, because there are many different disciplines, is that Tantra tells you you are perfect the way you are, because everything is within yourself. Everything is already there. It doesn't make you change. It doesn't ask you to be anyone in order to be a Tantrika. And this is a very big thing, to say you are already perfect, because we're not talking here about something superficial, right? And this type of perfection, it's something much more deeper. And you don't need to transform yourself or feel ready to do Tantra. You can do Tantra today. And this is the good thing. So if you really want to give it a try, I recommend Tantra to everyone. And I think it's something we should all learn at some point. And even if we could learn this when we are children, things would be very different. This is what I really think.
I read in the chat that someone said, oh yes, Tantra is just like Hakuna Matata. No, it saves you from Hakuna Matata. That's the point. The exact opposite. Tantra is about knowing who are you and what is inside you, because you are not your mind. That's something that is very difficult to understand to today's people. But we are not in our mind, and we are not our mind. Our mind is part of us. And there is a part that in Western society today is very misunderstood or ignored. That is our body. We don't use our body. And Tantra is an energy that comes to the body and is about the body, because in your body you live in your present, not in the future, thinking about the things that will happen, not in the past, thinking about in your subconscious about things that happened in the past. And a guy in the chat told, oh, I'm sad, but it's because of the politician. It's because of. Don't blame anyone. It's about how you handled it, how you feel about it, and how it harms you. You can do your best, and you can do a work to make sure you don't suffer because of someone else, because you have the power to stay. It's not happier. It's lighter. It's conscious
Here and now.
here and now.
Yeah.
But I think that there is some misunderstanding in this, because when you was speaking about Hakuna Matata, a lot of people were telling I cannot understand, because I didn't understand in the past before analyzing the Lion King, because Hakuna Matata seems like live here, live now, and nothing else. But the point is that Hakuna Matata is not this. The point is that if you are a lion and your kingdom is going to die, you cannot do Hakuna Matata. You cannot live without thinking at your responsibility and this. That's why Henry, I think, was telling that it's the opposite, because it's not about what there is outside, but it's about being here and now, what with everything that there is here and now.
Actually, this is a very good thing, because we were talking about something earlier, and it's that sometimes it might sound like it's easy, and it's like, oh, I live the life, I don't care about anything, I'm just happy, I'm a tantrika. No, it's not. It's the way you approach. Of course, we still have problems. We still have things. We are human beings. And we have things. Sometimes, even though I'm practicing a lot, sometimes I feel things and I need to remind myself, like, hey, stop here. No? And I go where I feel I can move myself now, because I have been working on myself and I can manage that. And this is the whole thing, no? To know, but it doesn't mean like we skip all the things that we don't need or we don't like, and we take what we like. It's the things are there around us. The politicians, all these things we are talking about here, they are around us, of course. It's the way you approach life. And actually, that's why Tantra was created for people that don't want to, surrender or give up. No, like give up their families, their jobs, the worldly life. This is why Tantra was created, because it's something that you can practice and you can follow as a path while you are living here. It's not something like you connect with the spiritual world and you live all this, and this is the easy way, and you feel in a super happy state the whole day. You keep doing your life, but you do it from a different approach. But in order to understand that, and I understand why there can be confusion, because it's normal, is to experience it. And I always go to the same conclusion, because we could say many things here, we could talk, but you need to live it, and you need to feel it through your senses, and you need to feel it through your body, and it's experiencing. And it will happen at some point. Something will start changing, and you won't even, still then you won't know why and what, but it will happen.
It's very particular, because in these days, and speaking about this, I receive a very nice gift that is a paint, a picture, and someone is asking us, how is it possible to live here and now without thinking about the future? And now I'm gonna tell something that because of this, I think that a lot of people are gonna hate me. I have never seen Kung Fu Panda. But and I'm very sorry, and he's super disappointed. He discovered just this morning that I've never seen that, right?
He has a Master Ugui quote on his bed.
Yes, and that's the gift that I received. But what there is written in this, I cannot remember exactly.
That the past is a story, the future is a gift, but
the past is a history, the future is a mystery,
and the present is a present.
And the present is a gift, is a present. So it's like that. Sometimes the answer is in what we already know. It's beautiful for me when I I love books. When I read some books, I discover something new. that I didn't knew. And when I read books about truth, the inner truth, it's not that I discovered something that I didn't know. It's just that I recognize something that I am already.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
And it's very
I understand.
particular, this, no?
This was my feeling with Tantra, though. I would say when I discovered this, I felt I was at home. At home, you feel like, okay, this is something I connect with this, right?
And why you think a lot of people thinks that Tantra, il Tantra is male, Tantra is just sex?
Well, there is many confusions for many things. When there are some books that speak about Tantra, it's actually more in the Neo Tantra, and some of them are not even Neo Tantra because it's really into the sexual part. And this created confusion because what they do, many people, is that they take the techniques and some things from classic Tantra, and they added to this some modern techniques, sex related, and they created a system. No, it's like now we talk about sacred sexuality or to be like tantric sex and all this. And it's what we got. I mean, it's the information we get from the US. In the Western, we get this information about Tantra. Not really, there is a lot of lack of information, but it's normal because even me, some years ago, when I heard the word Tantra, for me it was sex. This was for me until I started reading and I realized it was a different thing. From all the text we have from the real Tantras, the original ones, there is just one text talking about sex. And it doesn't, the classic Tantra doesn't mention anything related to the sexual pleasure. Actually, even in the Neo Tantra, because in Neo Tantra, we connect sexuality with spirituality. The sexuality is a way to gain the liberation as well, the spiritual liberation. But it's not considered Tantra if it's not subordinated to the, whatever you are doing has to be subordinated to the big goal of spiritual liberation, right? If it's just the sexual part, it's sex, right? And when it's connected to a bigger, ultimate, let's say, goal, this is Tantra. When this goal is to free yourself, to expand yourself, to reach consciousness. And I think it's fine, right? I mean, I think like some people that are practicing Tantra during the sexual relationships and all this, it's super powerful because, as I said, you're free to try to choose from everything. And there is a very powerful thing because there is a thing that it's really to connect with your partner when you're practicing Tantra. And if this is helping the couples or the people, why not, right? It's a beautiful thing for me. Some people judge this part a lot, like classic Tantra, for instance. Many people that follow classic Tantra don't like the Neo Tantra because they speak about sex, about using the sexual energy and doing this and that. But in my experience, I have done it a lot. I use it and it works for me. And I think you have tried as well, and it's super powerful.
Yes, absolutely.
So
for me, it's the only way.
For you, it's the only way. See, it's super powerful, and this is why some people think it's sex, because we use the sexual energy, and you can use this meditation and this tantra state everywhere, and this means you can use it in the supermarket, here, when you are working, when you are doing whatever, but when you are having sex as well. You use it everywhere. Tantra is not something that you choose, okay, I do it here, but not here. So that's why some people think it's about sex, because there is actually a part where you can implement this Tantra way of being during the sexual exchange.
A young girl in the chat asked, is it about Kamasutra?
No. No, not at all. Yeah, it's not related. Kamasutra is a more erotic thing. This is about sex 100%. It's not subordinated to the goal of spiritual liberation. It's not considered a spiritual path, like Tantra.
Come la ragazza ha detto che non parlava in inglese, ha detto che non è relazionato con il sesso perché il Kamasutra è 100% sulla sessualità e non è direzionato alla liberazione sessuale.
Spiritual.
È spirituale.
Sì.
I was thinking this. I've never been in Nepal, but I know that there is a tantric temple that is wonderful because outside there are a lot of images about Kama Sutra, and inside it's everything totally white. There is nothing inside. And I think that it's a wonderful imaging to show what is Tantra. That is okay, we have this idea, this energy that make me feel excited. But then the point is that there is nothing, there is just you and you.
Yeah.
And I think that it's really beautiful and it's very connected with what we do too. Because next week we are gonna start for the third time, I think. The third, I think, yes.
The third.
Terza.
Oh, third. Okay. Yes. I think the third or the fourth.
No, per la terza volta cominciamo il corso sulla sessualità, no? Che cos'è? È un corso dove mostriamo come la sessualità venga espressa nella narrazione e nell'arte. E in questo tempio è una cosa simile, no? Perché ci sono tante immagini, tante narrazioni sessuali che però portano ad un silenzio interiore. Quando entri nel tempio non c'è niente. E la stessa cosa succede poi anche con la poesia, no? Nel senso, il fine della poesia è poi il silenzio. Per cui il fine di ogni forma d'arte, non di ogni prodotto artistico, di ogni forma d'arte, pure della musica, pure dei mantra, dei mudra di cui parlava Asha, è poi il silenzio, cioè quel contatto con noi, quel silenzio ricco. E quindi è molto bello, no? Perché l'arte è, secondo me, densa di sessualità. Rilke dice che l'esperienza artistica è quanto di più vicino all'esperienza sessuale. Però poi l'arte è quella cosa che ti lascia in uno spazio di vuoto. Cioè in uno spazio dove, cos'è il vuoto? Dove non c'è il tuo ego. E quindi non c'è la mente, no? Che pensa. E quindi è molto bello con questo. Poi in questo faremo vedere anche tante cose interessanti nel corso, con la grande presenza del buon Ende.
Tantra is not about thinking about something or the other thing, but about feeling. Just feeling.
Ma a voi piace che lo chiamo buon Henry? Perché lo chiamo sempre buon Henry.
So,
Lui è sempre il buon
Cosa hai
Henry.
detto?
Lui, per me, è il buon Henry.
Il buon Henry.
he
È
calls
bueno.
me the good old Henry.
Yes, the good old Henry.
There's a dog, you know.
This is because he loves you.
Oh, because he thinks I'm a dog or a pet. And is there something you need to say about Tantra?
It would be very interesting to share with the people the 4 keys that we use in Tantra, because I think they're super powerful and they can use it from now, from home, from wherever they are.
Go on.
Driving. So there are 4 main things. As I said before, the first one is to be present, to be here in order to experience life. So we can start with these micro practices that I was mentioning before, even for 10 seconds, 15, 20 seconds, 15 to 30 is fine, wherever you are able to be there, fully aware of everything, connected with yourself, breathing. You can do this many times during the day when you feel it. The more you practice, the easier will be every time, really. Then the second one is the breathing. To breathe properly, to move the energy inside the body is super powerful. So in Tantra, we usually breathe, inhale and exhale through the mouth, which is more connected to the body. In Tantra, in yoga, we breathe through the nose. So it was a big challenge for me, and for many people that practice yoga, it might be hard, but you get used to it. So you breathe. It's a deep breath through the mouth, and it makes you move the energy. The third one is sound or vibration. right? I don't know if the people that are here today, they are the type of people that make noises, but I'm the type of person that makes noises. Like I eat, I like something, and I express myself. But sometimes we are so repressed because for people not to judge, not to say, what is this girl doing? Or this sounds like an orgasm, so I won't be very excited while I eat this chocolate cake. So we repress all this sound, and it's very good to move the energy that you don't need anymore out and make this together with the breathing, right? The sound goes with the breathing. So in Tantra, we do it a lot. We're breathing. And we express with the throat. It opens your throat. It moves everything. It's the vibration in your body. And the fourth one is a spontaneous movement. So if you feel like moving like this, shaking, whatever, you let your body move and feel free, especially to feel free. This is beautiful. When you feel you can move and you don't care about what people will think. Because you might want to shake sometimes when you're in the street, but you think people will think I'm crazy, so I won't do it. And you have your body there contracted, walking like they have said we have to walk and behaving as we have to behave, right? So you can start at home, right? If it's too much for you to be in the street and breathe like this or move, it's a way to do it, and it really helps. And if you think about these four things, these four keys, this is what's happening when you are in a sexual exchange with someone. You are breathing, you are making noise, if you like it. I mean, you are present, and you are what am I saying? And breathing, yeah, and moving. This is your energy moving, the power of your energy when you're moving. So it's a kind of our nature as well, and it's good to let it go out and express, let your body express.
Did you never listen to this before?
I always listen to this because there is someone I know, and not only him, but someone I know, and that someone is him, that keeps telling me these things.
Very important. I want my friend to know.
I told you he loves you. See, he wants you to release all these emotions.
There is a difference between I breath making noises and I make a lot of noise because you must listen to me, please listen.
No.
Thank you.
You don't know when he's done some live. Sometimes I have to go down in his house, telling, please, and one hundred.
I'm working in that moment. I'm working.
No, anyway, in our course, for instance, we always say that is very important is 4 aspects.
Ah, yes. Actually, it is. It's powerful reading. It's something that anyone can practice. That's why I think it's good to share this with the people as well.
I'm very happy because I really feel to be like a bridge.
You're a beautiful bridge.
Yeah, thank you.
I've got a lot of funny jokes about bridges in Italy that fall down, but
Okay.
well, actually, the most famous bridges in Italy.
It breaks. Okay.
But I can see
Thank
the
you.
beast.
Is the beast?
The beast.
Ah, ik noem
What's the beast?
What are we talking about?
The beast.
Beast.
The beast. Yes.
Cos'è beast?
Yeah, he scared me
bestia.
so
Ah,
much.
la bestia.
But she's super sweet. You scared me before.
They know that he can be super sweet, but usually he's not.
Yeah.
No,
Today is
usually-
very calm.
look
Today
here.
is calm. Okay, I won't get too close.
Oh,
Go,
don't
go.
worry. Don't worry. It's just when he's angry.
And he's always
Angry or hungry.
angry and
Both.
angry, yeah.
But. Where they can find in their city, in their island, in their place, something tantric.
I know, in Europe, in Spain, in Ferragosto, in
Actually,
Andalusia.
Rumi is very good for this because he's a searcher. He has lived
No,
in
no,
so many.
I was telling about your in
My
Spain.
retreat.
Yes.
Well, I have retreats in English and Spanish, not in Italian yet. Rumi, maybe you can come and translate. But for now, in Spanish and English, we do some retreats here in Tenerife. We are starting to do more in Spain on the mainland as well. And at some point, we might do some of them somewhere else in Europe. This would be the plan, what we would like. And I'm actually planning to start doing things online, as I told you before. And there will be in English and Spanish. But if they would like to do something in person as well and meet more people that are practicing Tantra, I don't know in Italy really, but maybe you have more information about this, right? Most of them are in Italy, right? Or all of them?
I
I don't know.
No, dice dei
I don't know.
Ah.
I can no. It's not an information I can
Yeah.
have. But you're asking for your Instagram, so
My Instagram, El Templo de Shab.
tell me.
El templo.
Yes, but I was. Yeah.
For sure, di sicuro la trovate sui tag delle storie mie e di Henry di oggi.
Muy bien. No,
No
falta una
points?
L. You're missing an L here. El templo.
Perfect. No points, no underscores,
No.
none.
Okay. Yeah, it was free.
Okay.
It's a beautiful Instagram profile, knowing that she's 65 years old.
I will try to post more things. I'm working on that. It's one of my new goals. Because my Instagram is... I'm posting more now.
Now in Spanish, please.
Que ahora voy a poner más cosas en Instagram. Wow, ¿cuánto tiempo llevo hablando inglés?
Alguno sta dicendo che è guapo parlare inglese e spagnolo.
Sì, a me piace l'italiano. Ma ho dimenticato quasi tutto. Potevo parlare prima, quando sono stata a Bergamo.
Ma guarda che parli davvero bene.
No, ma non ricordo molte cose. Potevo parlare di più.
Parli meglio di mia madre.
Espero che tua madre non stia conectata.
Ah, non capirebbe.
Ah.
Ciao, mamma.
Te quiero, mamma.
Parli meglio di Henry in certe serate.
Solo perché tu non bevi e quindi non arrivi a queste cose.
Siamo andati in un... si può dire?
Non lo so. Che cosa stai per...
Siamo andati la sera con Marta.
Oh.
Siamo andati in questo guacince.
Tu non dire che cosa è successo prima, solo il guacince.
Siamo andati nel guacince. Il guacince è l'equivalente della nostra osteria. E siamo andati in questo guacince e lui non riusciva neanche a ordinare praticamente. E il cameriere, io stavo ordinando il pesce, e il cameriere dice: ma lui cosa vuole? E lui era lì così sul tavolo. Quindi tu parli meglio italiano di Henry in certi momenti.
Mi se avresti dato qualche dettaglio su di me che non riuscivo a capire quello che dicevate.
Ho una foto.
Non diffondiamo la foto, però, cioè...
Il buon Henry. Ahora tú puedes decir que tú conoces un muy famoso youtuber en la isla.
Sí.
Soy muy feliz. Dicono di postare la foto. La foto. Io non posto la foto.
Io puedo verla.
Mm?
Io quiero ver la
Sì.
foto.
Lei la vede. Ah, faccio vedere subito, guarda. È solo lei.
Ay, por favor. Esta...
I did not even understand
I-
that
I
he was
wouldn't-
taking a picture.
I wouldn't say this is you.
La foto intera.
Wow. It's worth it to see it. Wow, Rumi.
Bella, eh? C'è anche la foto intera, ma non so dove. Ecco.
Buon Henry. Ay, Rumi, por favor.
Vogliamo bene, buon Henry. No, è vero.
Do you really need to be here? Make a question.
What do you think about this picture?
About this feature, you mean, or this?
No, this picture.
Ah, this picture. No, come on. This is a... Oh, I have to go.
No, quindi complimenti, parli bene italiano.
Grazie.
Niente in bergamasco. Non sai niente in bergamasco.
In bergamasco?
Perché lo stai dicendo?
No,
Bene,
no,
meglio.
non ricordo niente. Non ho imparato niente in bergamasco.
Dicono pota, infatti. Che è la parola che si dice sempre a Bergamo. E polenta.
Ah. So yeah, the picture. No, I'm not bringing this topic back.
So now the question can be, Henry, when
Yeah.
will be your first experience with Tantra?
This is the $1 million question now.
Since the picture exists, I want to do Tantra
I delete now.
for my life. They are talking in Bergamasco.
We will have a workshop in September here. August or September.
That's a problem I was talking about with Rumi some times ago. What about gay Tantra?
You know, I was thinking this in this exactly moment.
What do you mean? What about gay tantra?
That I am gay, and I know in tantric groups in Italy,
Yeah.
a lot of groups divide you in boys and girls or something like this to
yes.
make a couple or to make a masculine and feminine energetics
Yes.
and it's not so simple with me.
Yeah, so the thing is, first of all, to practice Tantra, there is a path that is white Tantra, as I think I mentioned it before. And this is a work you do within yourself, because actually to do red Tantra, which is the other one, is the one where you share with someone and you exchange. And these are the type of retreats where you go and they split men and women, and they form couples in order to do the practices. Parejas. This is the red Tantra. So if you are gay, you can still practice white Tantra as everyone. And I believe even red Tantra, you might not go to a retreat if you have a boyfriend and you want to share, you might find a gay Tantra retreat. I'm not sure, but here when we speak about energy, about feminine and masculine, we have both within ourselves. It doesn't matter if you're a man, if you're a woman, we all have the feminine and the masculine, and actually what it represents is the same energy, because we always split the feminine and the masculine because we need to understand what we're talking about. One is the pure consciousness, and the other one is this consciousness manifested, is the universe manifested. This a bit, sometimes it could be hard to understand, right? If you haven't done Tantra before, but it makes sense. But these both energies go together. And for me, there is no such difference. And I think you can perfectly go to a retreat with your boyfriend or a girl with her girlfriend and do the same practices and use, because for me, there is no such thing as using your feminine or masculine energy. For me, they are the same thing. Actually, the Tantra that I'm following, let's say in a way, or most of the people, is non-dualist, and there is no division, right? So why are we going to create a division there? Some people think you have to be a man to heal with your masculine, and it can happen, it's beautiful, but I think, I mean, for me, all these labels, all this division, separation, if I organize a retreat for couples, I would be super happy to have all type of couples, of course, and it wouldn't be a problem.
It's a beautiful answer. You know, I've never done Tantra in the north of Europe, but I have done a group name was Power and Sex. So it wasn't about Tantra, but it was connected with sexuality, with the role of sexuality in the north. And the point is that doing a Tantra retreat, for instance, in the south of Europe, in Italy and in Spain, and in the north of Europe is very different in this point of view. Because, you know, there is a lot of, ¿cómo se dice? Machismo, no sé cómo se
Chauvinism? Chauvinism, I think.
Toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
In Italy and in Spain. You know, in Spain and in all the Latin America, there is the macho. And in the north of Europe, it's not this. It's not like this. It's much more relaxed in this. So it's very particular for me. I know just a man that lead gay tantra retreat, and he's from the north of Europe.
But see, I think this is nice. In the same way I was telling you, people can search for a gay tantra retreat. But sometimes, what I think is, why do we still have this division? Why do we need to have a retreat, tantra retreat, with a normal name? This is the normal, because we don't need to specify straight, yes, for straight people. And then we create things for gay people. Why this division? So really, for me, it's something that even when I meet someone and they tell me, I need to tell you something, I'm gay, I laugh. It's like, okay, I'm straight. I mean, I don't meet people and I tell them, hello, I'm straight. Why do you feel we need to really, when this becomes really what it is, which is the nature, this is our nature. You can like anything. You can even be straight all your life and I can suddenly meet a woman and fall in love. And I'm open to everything. Because I don't believe in this. I believe in energy, in souls, in whatever, but not these divisions. So it's fine that someone, I guess it has to be like that, right? Because people would search gay tantra retreat, but in a more evolved scenario, for me, it wouldn't be necessary to do such thing, right? Just to say retreat, and you should feel fine, like you don't need any specifications about your sexuality, your gender, your whatever. It's for everyone.
In a world, in an ideal world, this would be absolutely true, awesome, and everything. But we don't live in that world yet.
Yes, this is the thing.
Yeah.
We have to change it. It's because sometimes we're waiting for something outside, but the change happens with every individual, right? How would you, if I ask you, for instance, if I post a tantra retreat, do you think a gay couple would doubt because I don't specify it's a gay retreat?
Well, it's about knowing what's in the retreat. If you tell me that there will be, not because tantra is sex, but if you tell me that there will be sex with gay couples, or we gay, we know that you intend male and female, and we think, is it even for gay or is it not? Because a lot of people, naturally, doesn't think about it. Because every single time Rumi sees a girl, he can try, and maybe he's a lesbian. When a gay man looks at another man, it's straight. It could be gay, but it's straight.
Mm-hmm.
More than 99% of times, every 1,000 people, one could be gay, finally, but maybe he doesn't even know.
Yeah.
So it's very different, the approach to the other sex and to the word sex, because homosexuals are used to be outcasted, to be out of every consideration. It's not about thinking this is normal or this is right, but this is what we used to do.
Yeah, it's a common thing. It's automatic already, right?
Yes.
It's like when you find an event, you write gay, blah, 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 right? Or something like specific, like in this division. So maybe I should write, right, when I'm promoting something, this is for everyone, this is for gay, lesbian, and specify this. This is something that I didn't think about before. So it's very good that we're talking about this, because for me, in my mind, of course, I'm super fine with everything.
Yes, but you
But
don't
I
think
don't
about
specify
the fact that the word is not so.
Yes, yeah.
You need to specify. For example, tantra is about moving and breathing. Could an asthmatic person participate? Could a paraplegic person participate?
Yeah.
But, you know, for instance, it's very interesting. I never think about this. But for instance, in Italy, I've never joined a tantra group in which there was a gay. Never. Here, yes.
Yes.
Maybe even because here it's much more common related the fact that there are
Here is illegal to be
Yes,
gay. In
yes, for
Italy, we
instance.
don't have any rights at all. No marriage,
What?
no adoption, no
Yeah,
homophobic.
yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
illegal.
So for sure there is much more homophobia in Italy, not than in Spain, but in the Canarian or in Tenerife.
In the Canary Islands, it's
Yes.
different. Actually, it's different than on the mainland, and it's the same country.
Yes. So
But here we're very open with
it's
that.
it's
Thank
very
God.
interesting, yes, because you know, maybe in Italy there is so much homophobia
Yes.
that if it's not about sex, maybe we just have to dance, you know. And I'm super open to dance with another man, absolutely. But for a lot of, maybe it's not, you know.
Yes.
And if you maybe join a tantra group because you recognize that you are vulnerable in this time of your life, you want to open yourself and you get refused because you are gay.
Wow.
You know, maybe it's not because you want to divide, but because it's common that is happening this. But for instance, here I understand you, and I understand you too, because we grow in different
Because
environments.
I didn't have all this into consideration. For instance, because for me it's so normal. Like I have like even around me constantly, most of my friends we are different in all the senses, and also in this, because some of them my friends are lesbians, gays, I'm straight, and for me it's such a normal thing. But I understand that in this context is a different thing, and I think it's a good thing to specify this really when we're offering these events, to say, hey, you are welcome whoever you are, wherever you like, and no, it's open for everyone, but we never specify this thing. So it's very good to have this conversation really. We'll add it from now on. Yes. Yeah. Well, and if anyone listens to me, you are all welcome to whoever you like, whoever you are.
So address.
Bueno.
You think we are done?
No. Bueno.
Okay.
Estamos cerrando esto.
Yes.
No.
He's the
no,
bridge. I
no.
mean, I listen to the bridge.
It's not the bridge, it's the gate in this moment.
The gate. No. It was just I was looking the time. But no. Very interesting. Absolutely. I've never think about it.
So
I am the bridge.
anyone has any question or anything or no? Because I don't know where you read the questions. I just see something there.
We do here.
Okay.
But
I was thinking,
there
where
are
do they see the
no
question?
questions that I noticed. They talked about Heidi, gay Heidi. What?
Gay? the cartoon?
The cartoon.
Ah,
Okay.
wow.
Or the fact that Steven Universe talks about mindful education, mindfulness. Oh my god.
Antes estaban hablando en el idioma de Bergamo.
They are pretty confused. I didn't think they could be so confused, but they are pretty confused.
With Tantra?
With the entire concept of...
It's normal because, but it's normal because it's something, well, they can ask specific questions maybe if they want. Still, as I said, what I say with words is what I can say about Tantra, and the rest is about experiencing. But if they have any specific question, of course, I'm happy to answer.
Yes, and it's perfect that they ask you the contact, because in Instagram.
On Instagram as well, if you want to know anything.
Maybe someone is quite shy to ask here with the name. I think that you are happy to receive the question in Instagram.
Yeah, of course. For me, the most important thing I would say, if you had to sum up all the things we were discussing here about Tantra, is to reach a state of no mind, connecting with your essence, and live from that state of pureness and from love in all the areas of your life, not just when you're with someone or during sex, but in all the areas of your life. This is the most important thing. And the rest, you can read many things, you can read many books, but really it's about experiencing and practicing to make this happen.
I love it.
I will see you in September.
If she writes that it's for everyone, I think that it's good for you. Now you have to go. My friend. One end. You should say that it's even for buone vecchie persone.
What?
Buone,
Buone
e vecchie persone.
e vecchie.
Ma la mia battuta è perché in inglese buon vecchio corrisponde al nostro semplice buon.
Sì, sì.
Perché non pensano alla parola vecchio quando dicono good old.
Sì, sì, sì.
Più per dire
Sì.
caro.
Certo.
Comunque sì, ecco. There was a question I had in mind, but it distracted me. Oh, okay. I noticed they asked, they didn't ask for that, but they needed this explanation because of some question I saw before. What does Tantra consist in practically? Out of the simple
Yeah, I know.
breath in this way, walk in this way, try your way to walk.
You mean if you go to a workshop or a retreat, is what I
For
understand?
example,
What do we do there, right? This is a very good one. Because there are many types of tantras, as I said, many types of retreats and facilitators. So it's good to choose, to see what you feel like practicing or doing. I can speak about my retreats, my workshops, because it's what I do. So basically what we do is dynamic meditations. So the meditations that we practice are inspired by Osho, and we not just sit there and breathe, that we start moving, breathing at the same time. There are many types of active meditations, and we release. We try to reach this state of calmness with this movement, and there is always a space of silence at the end. I mean, we can dance, we can move. Sometimes we are shaking, no? And we do different techniques, and then we leave a space of 10 minutes, 10, 15 to have this real meditation state where you feel like truly connected after you release all this tension, all these things that are in the body, because it's harder just to sit and say, okay, I'm going to meditate if you're not used to it, right? This is one thing. Then we created many different dynamics. I usually work with a colleague, Eduardo, and we do things together, retreats and workshops. So we already created some dynamics on our own. And all these dynamics are focused on one thing, to make you release control, release the mind and the control, and to surrender. So you feel so tired, right? After that you just give up. And because we are moving, we are opening the throat through the sound. Sometimes we are shouting to if you look at the Tantra retreat from the outside, you think these people are nuts. I mean, they're insane. But when you do it and you go through it, you understand what we are doing. And it's basically it's to clean, to open all the chakras, right? Then we learn how to move the sexual energy, to activate that, and in order to move the kundalini the way up. And we learn how to move that through the breath, with some techniques with the body. And we play, we try to disconnect from whatever. And there is something that I wanted to say that I have forgotten, that we do a lot on the retreats. Yes, we also in some retreats, not always, we do some specific healing dynamics that we use in Tantra. And these healing dynamics are physically, we will use the body because Tantra uses the body a lot, right? It doesn't, it's like a, ¿cómo se dice vehículo? Vehicle? Vehicle to get to this spiritual liberation, the body and the senses, right? Other disciplines might tell you that the body is there, but you shouldn't use it. Tantra uses the body to get there wherever you want. So we use it a lot. And in these healing sessions or dynamics that we use through the body, we release a lot of traumas and energetic knots. This is also a very powerful thing. But the main thing, because every retreat is different with different dynamics, we do meditations to open the heart, to open your intuition. We have a new one now that we are doing that is beautiful. It's the water and fire meditation. So we work with the feminine, the masculine energy, because we have both of them, as I said. So we learn how to merge and make love inside your body, which is the balance and when you can really shine and be there in full presence. But basically from all these dynamics that we do with the body, with the breath, and games and healing and all this, is the goal is to surrender. To surrender and say, okay, I let go. The first day people are very shy, usually, if they didn't have any previous experience. And you can listen to them. They move a little bit. And if you look at them, then the second day, they are different people, which is amazing because we see this change, right? And this transformation. And this is the beautiful thing. Because you see these people is cleaning all this that doesn't belong to them and letting everything out. And it's a thing that I really recommend, not because of my retreats, to any Tantra retreats, workshops that resonates with you, and if you feel you connect with the facilitator, I really suggest you go and give it a try.
Someone is asking if there are some science evidence that make us that can state that Tantra works well for the body, for the soul. So
as far as I know, no, but I haven't searched, to be honest, because I have, for me to know what I feel, right? It might, I don't think so, to be honest.
I think yes, you know. I
Yes,
think
you
yes.
think?
I'm quite sure that I'm not searching this because I'm not interested in this. I'm interested in my experience.
Yes.
But I'm quite sure that there are. Because I remember that in a period when I used to do Tantra a lot, Facebook was, the sponsorization in Facebook. And they were telling me there is this article that blah, blah, blah. And someone else is asking if yoga is about static meditation and Tantra about dynamic meditation. It's another question.
Yes, actually in yoga, the meditations are the meditations most of the people know. We use the nose, we don't have this. Well, there is a lot of pranayama and breathing techniques, but the meditation itself is usually on the lotus pose or cross legs, and you meditate in silence, following your breath, and it's a different type of meditation. Yeah.
Talking about scientific evidences, I think there are about the mechanics of the body, because of the movement, of the breathing, of all the stuff about moving your body in new ways, letting it be sciolto.
Suelto, loose.
No, flow.
It's not loose.
I can't
Like release?
translate it. It's loose.
Right?
Loose. Thank you. And things like this. But about soul or your feelings or interpretation of reality, I think it's not a matter of science. I don't think science can say you're wrong, because it's not different than a religion or talking about ghosts. I don't think it's a way to say it doesn't exist, but science can say nothing about it.
Yes, for sure. science just can say that if you breathe in this way, something that can help you in this,
Or
this,
about
this.
meditation. They speak about meditation. In Tantra, we have this yantra. Yantra, as I said it before, but I think I didn't explain. It's like the equivalent to the mandalas that we know with these shapes. And so you do a visualization. Usually it can represent a god or a goddess or something. And you can repeat a mantra while you are meditating on that specific yantra. And the science regarding to that says that it balances your hemispheres and so it helps you mentally as well. The science has this word many things related to meditation, so in many senses, yeah, but as you said, in the way of saying, oh, you feel better, you remove your beliefs and all that, I don't think it's a matter of the science, and I don't think there is good or bad. I don't think there is something right or wrong, and I don't think there is something that works or doesn't work. I think something can work for a person and something else will work for another person, and it's about experiencing and trying and see what resonates with you, especially listening to this and to this, your intuition, your heart, where it takes you. And if it takes you somewhere, it's for a reason. So, okay, I will try this. And I feel I can connect with this. Give it a try. If you don't connect after, it's okay, but you try. So yeah, more than knowing if it works or if it doesn't work, I think it's something that each person has on their own path, right? To follow a path, and you just need to find yours. This is the best way.
Wow. You are very good at explaining some points that Rumi is not so good at.
I'm not a tantra teacher.
Not yet.
I was not saying you're a shit. I was just saying she is better than you at this, and actually,
I
it's
wish I
her
could
work.
speak Italian. Would be better, but I have to.
Next time.
Ma tu puoi parlare italiano?
Sì.
About all this, no, it's hard.
Secondo me la prossima
Proviamo.
volta, sì.
Remember that Tantra is for some reason I can't understand
Tantra
a
è
mail,
per
so
tutto
il
il
Tantra.
mondo. Next time I will try,
Ti va?
okay? But
Ti va di fare una prossima volta in italiano?
Ma devo imparare.
Ma no, basta che vieni qua 2 volte e parliamo solo italiano.
Posso parlare un po' in italiano e dopo lo faccio in inglese, si dice? In inglese.
Sei bravissima, Gio.
Not a
Questo-
single error.
Questo cosa significa?
No.
That's
No.
the part
Questo
difficult
dire
about
perfetto.
Italian.
Perfetto.
I like this.
Sì.
Can I use it even if
Sì,
I speak
perfetto.
Spanish?
Well, in Italian they all understand you.
Sì,
Ah, yeah, I
perfetto.
never saw this.
Perché è come dire non fa una piega, che è un altro modo di dire
Non fa
perfetto.
una piega?
It's the
Cosa-
opposite of what the fuck.
Mhm.
e cosa è piega?
Quando stiri non
Ah.
fa una piega.
Come arruga.
Sì, esatto. E noi scherzavamo a filosofia dicendo che questa si chiama la filosofia del ferro da stiro. Non fa una piega.
Oh,
Perfetto.
Gesù subscribed.
Perfetto. Direi
Jesus.
che è perfetto.
A guy called Jesus.
This is a sign.
This is a
Esatto.
sign. Grazie per l'abbonamento.
And do you do this in Bergamo? I never saw this.
In all Italy.
Language from Italians is from every part of Italy,
Yeah,
because we used
with
it
the-
to talk with other populations of Italy,
Yes.
because
Mm.
everyone talked a different language.
Used to talk a different language because
Wow.
it was a union of different kingdom.
Even before.
It's weird because I know many Italian people and I never saw this. It's the first time.
Maybe it's just the first time that you noticed.
Maybe they do it and I didn't realize.
Start to do that.
Maybe they do this.
Sì,
Just.
perfetto.
That is the same.
Yeah, I saw this more
actually.
often.
Perfect. Okay,
Ah.
perfect. Visto. Wonderful.
I like it. We start using it.
Quindi la prossima volta facciamo tutto
Ma in
una live
mudra.
sul linguaggio del corpo parlando in italiano.
Oh, ok. I can speak just with my hands.
Non capisco.
Posso parlare, non
Sì.
so come si dice, muovendo
Muovendo.
le mani,
Le mani.
le mani.
Complimenti. Molto brava.
Grazie. Bergamasco, romano, milanese.
What? It was just a series of examples of dialect. But noi stavamo parlando del fatto che in Italia un tempo ci fossero vere e proprie lingue diverse. Qui nel nord si parlava tedesco, alemano,
Tedesco.
o francese, o in alcune zone addirittura arabo. Al sud c'era la zona araba, c'era la zona spagnola, c'era la zona greca.
In Sardegna solo il sardo.
Cioè, è una follia.
E allora, tutto.
Quindi si parlava così.
Sì. Questo lo vedo sempre, ma in questo mi piace moltissimo.
There are a lot of signs that can teach you everything.
Io per esempio adesso ho un problema perché ho un carissimo amico che si chiama Maffo, ciao Maffo, che non sarà mai
This
qua.
means ciao.
Sì, ciao.
He's a little ciao.
Sì.
Not that this is a big ciao, this
Sì.
is a little ciao.
And you use it when you want to see someone or not? When you're happy to see
When you're
them?
happy with someone, you are talking with someone
Ma
and want to...
in italiano adesso che stiamo chiudendo, no?
Yes.
Quindi
Little.
ho questo amico, ciao Maffo, che con lui parliamo sempre, cioè scherziamo e parliamo in bergamasco. E adesso mi viene molto difficile perché quando parlo bergamasco mi viene da parlare spagnolo.
Ah, sì.
Lui vive in Francia e lui quando parla in bergamasco gli viene da parlare francese, capisci?
Sì, capisco.
Quindi, vabbè.
Questo mi succede a me quando voglio parlare l'italiano, parlo l'inglese adesso.
Ah.
Perché sono stata parlando l'inglese 5 anni e adesso...
In India.
No, a Dublino. Mm.
Mm.
E come si dice lo mesclo?
Lo mescolo.
Lo stesso? Lo mescolo?
Mescolo.
Mescolo.
Sì.
Mescolo.
O mischio.
Mischio. Mischio mi piace di più.
Mischiare,
Lo mischio.
mescolare. Sì, mescolare è più...
Che bonito sulla vita.
È molto brava a parlare l'italiano.
Grazie. Sì, ma devo, come si dice, studiare e imparare, no? Devo imparare di più e dopo posso fare il live in italiano per tutti. È meglio.
Davvero sei molto brava. Sei di Tenerife? Sì, di Tenerife.
Un'ultimissima domanda, perché questa è una cosa effettivamente curiosa. Che cosa si prova ad essere nati e cresciuti su un'isola come Tenerife, che tutto il mondo vede come un posto in cui andare in vacanza, un posto esotico, e per te invece la normalità del resto del mondo deve essere...
Sì, can you reply in English?
No.
Ma non posso. Lo intento. Non lo intento, come si dice?
Ci provo.
Ci provo. Sempre penso che mi piacerebbe essere di un altro paese per andare qui in vacanza.
Sì.
Perché per me, perché sono di qui, molte volte sento che... no, ho sentivo. Sentivo che era piccolo. Io sempre mi piace viaggiare e qui non è lo stesso, è lontano, non è come stare in Madrid, stare in Madrid. Quindi è bello Tenerife, ma penso che è meglio quando non sei di Tenerife e vieni in vacanza perché tutto è nuovo I will say this in English because otherwise I won't finish. For me it's also funny because when you are from here we are very weak. I mean very weak. We cannot stand the cold, we cannot stand the heat because here the weather is very mild. It's always like 25, 30 in the summer. Today it's very hot, but it's not like this humidity, right? This type of hot that really
There is
kills you.
not AFA. It's
Yeah.
the Italian word for the hot humidity.
Yes, there you go. Like I was in the mountains close to Barcelona last week, and I was melting there. It was so hot. And I just wanted to come back here because here is hot, but it's my hot. I understand this hot, this type of hot is fine. This heat, right? And so when we travel anywhere, when I moved to Dublin, it was a nightmare for me. Like it was 20 degrees less than here, and it was such a big change. And at the beginning, actually here, because we are in the south of Tenerife, when I was a child, when it was raining, we didn't go to school.
Really?
What?
We stayed at home. It was raining. It was very dangerous. So some people, because their parents were working, they went there, but most of the people was like, it's raining, we don't go. So it was funny
Wow.
because when I was 17 years old, I went to the north of the island in La Laguna to go to university.
Where always rains.
Always rain. And I met a friend from there, and she was laughing because every time it was raining, I would stay at home because it was the normal thing for me. And I remember she was telling me, let's go out tonight. Of course, we were 18 years old. We wanted to party every night. And I was saying, no, there is no way I'm going out. It's raining. I don't go out when it's raining. And then I went to live in Dublin. So there, I had to learn to go under the
To
rain.
face the rain.
There was no, there I was working. I wasn't going to party. I had to go to work, and I wasn't going to school. I had to work. So there was no excuses. I had to go. And after 2-3 years in Dublin, I got used to it. And then I didn't even use an umbrella. It was raining. I was just with my big coat, with the, how you call this, the hood, and walking. And I was used to it.
Yeah.
But when you're from here, from the south, really, it's like, oh, it's cold. Oh, it's we complain about the weather because here is very mild, and our bodies are not used to it, really.
Here I miss the rain. I really feel that I miss the storm.
You can go to La Laguna. It's 1 hour.
Yeah, but it's not the same. The storm.
Yeah.
When I lived in Naples, in a month they closed the schools 3 times because of the wind. It's dangerous. Trees could fall down.
Yeah, I believe.
And they did.
Very good.
Interesting question. I'm just curious, why it is so difficult for Spanish speakers to pronounce words beginning with S followed by another consonant, such as
I don't understand.
Why it's so difficult for you to say spada and not espada?
It sounds the same for say.
No, red, such as
Spada, scala. How do you say it?
Spada, scala. But
Però
he's asking why Spanish speakers.
Perché anche tu prima dicevi, non hai detto spada, ma avresti detto espada.
Espada with E.
Sì.
Con la E delante. Yeah, and we also say Spain. I'm from Spain. Yeah, this is something in Spanish. I try not to say, I try to, because since I was living in Ireland, everyone was laughing. Actually, I was trying to improve my accent when I was speaking English there because I had no idea. I couldn't speak English before. And when I went there, I was really studying and working hard. I need to speak this language. And I remember I went to the bus and I was like, good morning, like this, no? And the driver said, buenos días.
Sí.
I was like, no way. The Spanish accent, even when I said good morning.
Here, usually, I could even not speak and they tell me buongiorno. They understand that I'm Italian even without speaking.
Yeah, and also the Italian people in Dublin, when they were speaking English, it was funny because they used to say the H when they don't have to say it, and the other way around. For instance, if you want to say I'm hungry, people say I'm angry, or the other way. This is like most of the Italian people in Ireland. This is like something that everyone knows, right? It's something that usually happens. Yeah, with the H.
His friend, Steven, is still called Estibe. Estibe.
Estive. Porque in España lo llamaron Steve todo el tiempo. Steve.
Steve.
Que es Steve, pero es Steve. Ciao Steve. Saluta Steve. Ciao Steve. Comunque molto belle queste, cioè è bello secondo me dare questi spaccati
Impulsi,
di vita, comunque di... Cioè molto interessante tutto quello che hai detto, l'hai spiegato molto bene, il tantra, quello che fai, bellissimo che sei stata a Bergamo, siamo orgogliosi. E poi no, è molto bello anche dare questa idea, no, di viaggio, di aprirsi al mondo, se molte persone non si spostano, quindi è bello anche... C'era qualcuno che diceva che è molto bello parlare inglese, spagnolo e italiano, che tutti e tre parlano.
Sì. And I think it's important not to see other places, to I don't know, to meet people from everywhere.
Mm.
Is it a way of telling me that
I don't know.
we're done?
Oh, sorry.
No.
Mi dispiace.
How are you?
Good. Feeling like I want to swim because it's hot.
We have the pool.
I know.
Perfect.
But I'm fine. And well, yeah, and I'm very grateful for you and Rumi for having invited me here. Super happy to share with more people what Tantra is. I know it's hard to understand, and especially if it's the first time. But if whatever you heard catches your attention and you feel you want to know more, I really invite you to get there and go deeper because it's worth it. So yeah, thank you guys. Really, thank you so much.
Thank you. We don't have a gesture to say thank you. That's stupid.
We can create one.
Faccio così.
I usually
Yes,
do like
but
this.
this is Oriental.
Yeah, this is not ours.
Così.
We have to create an.
Oh, yep.
Rumi does this all the time, right?
Yes.
A lui
Yeah.
sì, perché...
In the northern Italy, it's a way to say good boy.
Sì, io lo faccio con lui tanto, in verità. Ma perché mi piace scherzare così. Bien, grazie a tutti per
Grazie.
l'ascolto.
Ciao ciao e fate i bravi.